Yo, what's going on, guys? Hopefully, you guys are having a good little Tuesday night, man. I'm not gonna keep you guys on here for too long. I just obviously because the holidays coming up, so we start talking about giving thanks and what a good year we've been having and things of that nature. But look, man, once Canelo retires, right? Because he's one of those young legends that started boxing relatively young and fought a lot of big names, had a lot of success early on in his career. Once he calls it quits, just like Showtime walked away from the sport because they kind of don't see a future in it, what big names or big faces of boxing can we really, as boxing fans, really rely on? You know what I mean? Like, could we rely on Tank Davis? Can we rely on Teofimo Lopez? Can we rely on Ryan Garcia, Jaime Munguia, Dimitri Bivol? Can we rely on Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney, William Zepeda, Virgil Ortiz, Boots Ennis, Johnny Beck? Can we rely on any of these fighters to carry the torch of boxing? Naoya Inoue, right? Once Canelo retires, let's say he were to call it a retirement after Cinco de Mayo of next year, and he goes, you know what? I'm just going to take 2 years of boxing off. If there's a big fight or the big name of the horizon, maybe I'll come back, right? Because there's really nothing left for Canelo to do. I mean, he's accomplished pretty much every single thing that there is to accomplish in boxing, right? Became undisputed, multi-divisional champion, knocking out everybody pretty much along the way. Had meaningful trilogy with Triple G. So once Canelo calls it quits, boxing, it's fucked. There's nothing left. There really is nothing left because we can't rely on Tank Davis to hold boxing down. We can't rely on Ryan Garcia, Jaime Munguia, all of these young fighters. There's going to be no networks for them to rely upon. That's the first thing, right? Maybe the zone, but they have already increased the price when they first started here at $10. Now it's 25 or 20. You can pay $300 or $260 a year, whatever the case may be. And in addition to pay-per-view, right? So then we know that if they're gonna be the last market left for boxing fans are pretty fucked. On this Saturday, though, we have an incredible night of boxing. Unfortunately, like most incredible events that we've had this year, they've all been on pay-per-view. But we have another great fight, between Demetrius Andrade and David Benavidez, two undefeated fighters, right? And here's the question. Could we rely on David Benavidez to be the face of American boxing, right? Him and Boots Ennis, right? Because the Charlos are probably out the gate, right? If Canelo were to retire, more than likely, all of those fighters that always wanted the Canelo fight, they're going to, jump ship as well. I don't see them staying, right? So in terms of American boxing, Tim Tszyu is not going to be a big-ass name here. I doubt Naoya Inoue will, right? A lot of these guys don't have, I guess, the appeal to the American audience. This is when I talked about, 2 months back, 3 months back, that the lack of promotion. Once HBO left, remember, they knew how to not only build fighters in terms of matchmaking and build them into stars, but they wrote narratives for these fighters, right? They did amazing documentaries. They were able to expound narrative into boxing and make these fighters bigger than thou, whether it was through face-offs, all access, documentaries, interviews. That's what Showtime lacked. You see, Showtime when they teamed up with PBC, when PBC, had the key man clause, and then all of those fighters became free agents after, leaving Golden Boy, Showtime had pretty much all of these fighters that they could have made into superstars. You saw that Fox commercial with PBC. They had Deontay Wilder, Leo Santa Cruz, Errol Spence. They had a bunch of fighters that they could have built into stars. But the lack of promotion, the lack of narrative, the lack of selling a fighter, selling a story, selling a dream, selling a vision, Showtime sucked, right? To that matter, I don't think the Zone is any better. ESPN, they actually do a great job, right? Top Rank. For example, when Emmanuel Navarrete fought Oscar Valdez, and you can go onto the Top Rank YouTube channel, they had an amazing 30-minute documentary where it was like a Mexican standoff, a showdown between El Vaquero and Oscar Valdez. It was dope as fuck. Fantastic. But they should have been doing that when Navarrete first came into the scene and beat Isaac Dogbo. Because there was a story to be told in that fight, right? We talked about how Dogbo was like saying racial things, him and his father, right? Towards Mexicans in the Jesse Magdaleno fight. That could have been a selling point. But, Top Rank, they're getting lazy. And I know they're getting lazy because Bob Arum, like Golden Boy, they also don't see a future in the sport of boxing either. That's why they want to sell their companies. Oscar is asking for $1 billion, right? This company's not worth $1 billion, but they all want to sell. Even Bob Arum has entertained the thought. Once Canelo leaves the sport of boxing, I don't think that we can successfully and honestly say, okay, yeah, Tank Davis, Shakur Devin, all of these fighters are going to carry on the sport of boxing. Because even them, their narrative, the O's got to go or they're protecting their O, that's old news. That shit ain't happening. Yo, my bad, Drew. I didn't even see that you hopped in here, bro. Mic check real quick. Yeah. Say something, brother.
Good.
I can hear you. I can hear you, bro. You're good. You're good. How you been, man? How's your week going? How was your experience in your 49er game versus the Buccaneers? And have you ridden your motorcycle, bro?
Nah, I mean, that game was cool. It was all right. I mean, I got drunk like 2 times, I feel like, because it went up and down, and it was just a long day for me, because I was just with I was, and I mean, I had to drive. That's the thing. So I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
like, ah,
yeah.
shit. So, no, I had fun. I was like with a bunch of family and stuff like that. So,
Yeah, that's good, bro. Hell yeah. That's good stuff. Man, look.
in mine though, I was gonna say the bike is mine. It's my dad's. It still needs to go through like all the, like the smog checks, but I have a long way to go. I don't even think I want to ride it because he kind of got that out of it without even saying anything. So, um,
Huh. Got you, bro. Yeah, no, that's still really cool. You know what I mean? I
I
figure
was like, nah.
I figure you're going to be cruising in it as well. Like as you're gonna get like into bikes as well, or no?
Uh, really, how powerful this thing is because 900 cc's is.
Yeah, bro. 900 cc's is a lot, bro. Is it a Ninja Kawasaki or is it something different? Drew. Yo, El Pachuco. Mic check real quick, brother. Can you hear me? I feel like I'm getting like a little. And saludos to you as well, bro. I'm not too sure if my mic's going off. I can't hear Drew.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you, bro.
Oh, it's because my AirPods died on me, so yeah, it's all good. what's it called? What was I gonna say? What was I saying before? Right when I what were you asking me? I
I was
forgot.
asking you if you're gonna get into bicycles, like in
Yeah,
bikes, or like if you're gonna start cruising and shit.
yeah, I want to try it out, but I want to see how fast this thing is first.
Yeah,
Because it's a Honda CBR, a Honda, so those things are pretty fast, and I got a helmet and everything, but yeah, man, I just want to do everything legit and make sure it's like safe for me. Like right now, my dad's driving it, so it's being used, but he's still like fixing it up. That's why there's still some like mechanical stuff we got to do to it. But yeah, man, everything's good. Everything's good with that, and work's been going. It's just I've been trying to, everyone's trying to save up for the holidays. So yeah, everything's
yes,
been
sir.
chill, man. What about you, man? How's everything going? What's that
Yeah,
noise?
no, man, it's everything's going pretty well, bro. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I agree. Everybody's saving up for the holidays and things of that nature. Same here on this end, bro. Not
Whoa,
nothing major. Right now I'm basically restoring a little like an electric Jeep, you know.
what?
Yeah, it's like an electric Jeep, like a toy Jeep. So I've been like
Okay,
sanding it, and then I gave it a primer, and then hopefully my brother has like this candy
a, s-
purple.
a miniature Jeep, right? Like you're
Yeah, a
talking
little
about like
electrical
kids?
Jeep. Yeah, for like the little guys
Oh,
and stuff.
okay. I was
So
about to say. I was like,
yeah,
you
not
can't
not
just
like a
fix
real
up.
life Jeep, bro. Nah.
I was like,
Um,
those just came out in the '90s, bro. like,
yeah, dude, this shit came out
hmm,
2001, and I was like,
yeah.
you know what, bro? Let me restore this shit.
Oh,
It's pretty much in well conditioned, but just the outside through the elements of like the wind and the sun, and the rain. It's taking
yeah.
a beat down. So I've been sanding it, polishing it up a little bit, giving it a nice little primer,
Can you hear me?
doing like the little So it's coming
I
up.
can't hear you, man.
You can't hear me?
Well, I
Damn,
might have
bro.
to go back in and out because I can't hear nothing, man.
Yeah, it might just be my end, bro. To be honest with you, I don't think it has nothing to do with your end. Yeah, that's unfortunate. It's because I have my hard drive right here on the computer, and then I'm charging my phone, so it's kind of like stuttering. I don't really always have the best internet on here, so if you guys can't hear me, man, it's gonna suck. But yeah, like I was saying, Drew, is I just been restoring a few of these older things and just cleaning up, I guess, like the little garage certain area.
We good?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I can hear you, bro. Like I said, it's probably more my end. I don't think it's your end.
Okay.
Like I said, I
You should
usually have
probably
pretty bad internet.
we'll listen back on it and see if it was you or me or what.
Yeah. Let
But
me ask you a
yeah,
question, bro.
yeah. What's up?
If Canelo were to retire,
When?
you think boxing? Who takes over the sport of boxing? Who carries it?
I think Tank. I think Tank can carry it, but it's just everyone's in this short term mindset. I think there's a lot of there's easily like five of them that can actually become like the face of boxing. I think Devin can be that guy for a short term. Um, it's just because Devin's actually on track to have a pretty damn good like resume. Like his resume is already looking good, but he's giving us what we want, and so far he's giving us exciting, pretty exciting fights. I mean, Loma Haney fight was not boring. It was just a boxing fan's favorite fight. I mean, like it wasn't like pleasing for the casuals. So I think he can be the face of boxing. It's just for me, I just think Tank is built like that.
Yeah,
I think he has that notoriety, and he's already kind of one step away. I mean, when he beat Ryan, we're like arguing like who's really like the face of boxing, this guy or Canelo, and I think with age, I think Tank is gonna actually be that guy, but it's just that he had like 2 or 3 more years of boxing or something like that. So yeah, we'll see, man.
yeah. No, I would say Tank would have that crossover appeal, right? But I don't know, man. I don't know if he will, if we can rely on him to carry the sport of boxing because first and foremost, he's very inactive, and then he always has outside things going on. One of the things that make him appealing is, fucking dude can fight. You know, he can knock you out, and every single time you can be beating him, and then boom, he has that knockout ability. And that's one of the things that these modern boxers right now really don't have. They're playing it too safe to protect their O, right? And they don't have that crossover appeal. For instance, years ago, when Ruben Villa, before he turned pro, you know, he was a highly touted amateur. And if you go on YouTube, right, maybe I'll do a screen sharing, but um, I think it was like Transports. They titled their video "The Next Oscar de la Hoya," and it had Ruben
Mm.
Villa, right? And then they just stopped pushing that narrative, right? But a lot of these Olympians, they just play it too safe. And we just saw that for Shakur Stevenson, right? And you saw
Mm.
kind of like ESPN trying to save face, you know, say, oh, he was hurt and all these other like narratives of why the fight was very boring or whatever the case may be. And going back to these fighters, they don't come here to please the fans.
Mm-hmm.
They're very dismissive of their fans. If you ask them a fucking simple question, they get all defensive.
Mm-hmm.
They start talking shit to the media, and it's like, bro, you haven't earned that right to talk shit to the media yet. Especially Shakur. Like,
Yeah.
bro, they put everybody in the media. They recognize your skill and put you on a pound for pound list, knowing that you're a boring ass fucking fighter. And then
I know.
he has the fucking balls to talk a gang of shit and be like, oh man, you know, I now I understand why Tank treats you guys the way they do. Well, fuck Tank for that
Bro.
matter too, bro. Everybody, for the majority of the part, everybody is a fan of Tank's skills.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All we're asking is give us the fucking fights that we want. So yeah, he
Mm-hmm.
does have that crossover appeal, but
Mm-hmm.
honestly, he never really crossed over. Only Ryan Garcia, and I don't even know if Ryan Garcia is the dude that carried all those pay-per-view because you know it takes two to tango. But
Mm-hmm.
obviously that catapulted the masses' interest, and it was a big
Yeah.
fucking event, bro. The reason why I can't trust Tank is because Tank is saying, "Oh, I'm gonna take a little break." This guy is just a copycat of Floyd Mayweather. Every single big fight, he has the same. He's paying homage to Floyd Mayweather in their outfits. He wants to move like Floyd. Boxing fans, and the reason why HBO and Showtime they're all walking away is because of that reason. It's like you guys are just trying to, you guys realize the game, you guys are trying to maximize it, and everybody is not getting no back end money. It's all going to these fighters, and then there's no profits to be earned, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you look at Dana White and the UFC model, all of the fighters are always complaining about not getting paid enough, right? And then all the back end money goes to the UFC and Dana White and their constituents and the investors, but the model is succeeding. Boxing has no structure. The fighters don't care to please us. There's no incentives for them. They don't get a bonus. They get hyperinflated checks. Let's say Shakur gets paid 4 million. The motherfucker can't even sell 4 million at the gate. People don't even check in his fights.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like there's no profit. You're
They've been
generating no revenue. And then you
and
give us stinkers, and then like it's like, bro,
bro.
that's why boxing, I don't think boxing for a while will succeed. And the Mexican fighters like Navarrete, Oscar Valdez, they essentially fight pennies on the dollar,
I know.
right? And that's why like Azteca TV or Azteca Box, they always have fights every Thursday or Friday. Yo, what's going on? El Pachuco, what's going on? Warp Speed. Salute to all three of you. And what's going on, Vince? Ding, ding, ding. Yeah, man. I just feel like, and let's say, for example, Teofimo Lopez. That guy can speak both languages, Spanish and English. He's very entertaining, right? He's actually fighting the tough fights, but he's not having that crossover appeal. And he fought Josh Taylor. He has fought Sander Martin. He
Yeah.
did beat Lomachenko. But again, the
Yeah.
lack of narrative, right?
I know.
It's like,
Like that guy's like, oh man, like what's up with the nervous energy he gives, man? There's no need for that. He's capable of beating all these guys. you know,
Right.
and it's like, man, like if you were to just play your cards right, you can get something close to where you're asking for, you know, because he's asking for a little too much. Like, I do know he was like, you know, like going down on the price. Like he said 100 mil, and then what is it, like 20 mil? He's trying to do like you know, like Bud Crawford numbers and shit, you know. So um, he can. It's just he needed to play his cards right. He's yeah, he's capable of beating all those guys. What was I gonna say? They really but as far as Shakur's, you know, like his the way he did everyone dirty in a sense, like the promoters really did a good job of getting everyone really like interested in this card with the entertaining fight with Navarrete and Robson Fonseca, you know, and it was like that was like, you know, like I felt like it was only gonna get better. You know, when I was watching that fight, I was like, oof, the next fight about to be even better. You know, that's usually how it goes, and just for them to be polar opposites, it's like fuck, man, I feel kind of like faked out, you know, and yeah, no, I was gonna just say like they really you like Teofimo's like fights are never really like, you know, disappointing. So yeah, I don't know where I was going with that.
No, no, no. I agree, bro. Emmanuel Navarrete and Robson Conceicao was a really good, entertaining fight. You know, a little sloppy from both fighters. You know, Robson can't really throw a two. You know, he slaps with it. Navarrete looked extremely flawed and exposed. You know, from everything that makes him good against short fighters when he fights guys equal height or a little taller or equal arm length. You know, because Navarrete has some really long arms. He fucking sucks. He looks like sloppy, bro. You
Yeah.
know, but when he fights little short guys like Valdez or
Hmm.
Isaac Dogbo, guys that are like 5'3", man, he
Hmm.
looks incredible. You're like, wow, bro.
Yeah.
But you know, you put him up there with like the 5'10s or 5'8s, Liam Wilsons of the world, and Robson Conceição. I mean, damn, bro, it's like, I mean, are you good or are you just beating
Yeah.
on little dudes?
And it
No,
sucks.
you know.
It
But
sucks.
for Teofimo, yeah, man, Teofimo's career is amazing. Like he actually fights really good. But then again, right now, he just beat Josh Taylor. Teofimo Lopez is fighting the establishment, right? As well as he should. He's demanding higher pay. He's saying that he's generating all these money and views to these networks, and he's fighting and doing all the dirty work, fighting basically pound for pound fighters, right? Josh Taylor and Vasily Lomachenko and Sander Martins, you know, fighters that have a lot of momentum. And he's fighting the establishment. You know, he's like, bro, I'm doing all this, and yet you pay Devin Haney and Shakur almost quadruple the price of what you guys are fucking paying me, and they're absolutely doing nothing,
I
right?
think they learned. Think that they learned their lesson over the past couple on Thursday. You know, and I feel like they're looking at Teofimo like, damn, like we should be paying this guy all that money because, you know, not only that, like you put on great fights. You know, even when you're getting outboxed versus Sandor Martin, you know, it was, at least you landed something. At least, you know, we seen some kind of action. Um, fuck, I forget where I was going with this.
Yeah, no, no, like again, correct, bro. Like Tio, right now, he has so much momentum, but there's inactivity after dominating. Let's say he fought Josh Taylor like around March or April. Bro, he
Mm,
put on such an amazing fucking performance. An amazing
yeah,
performance. Bro, 10-2 almost knocked out Josh Taylor. Bro, he made Josh Taylor look so bad.
yeah,
He made him look so bad. It was more dominating than when Mayweather beat Canelo.
yeah.
Teofimo, I don't know, bro. He was doing Superman flying punches, leaping, and he could not miss. He was landing. He was showboating. He was doing everything to embarrass Josh Taylor and just show him, bro, there's levels to this, and you're getting beat by a guy 6 years younger than you. And bro, that performance was so amazing. And then what did Teofimo do? This is why I can't rely on him to carry and be the face of boxing. He's inactive. Bro,
Yeah,
fight. Fight
yeah.
again. Buy out your contract, bro. You should be two-time undisputed before Terrence Crawford.
Mm-hmm.
You're fighting the establishment of, you know, you wanted to be a free agent. You want to make your own deals with the networks. You want to cut out
Mhm.
the middleman. Bro, also demand that you are two-time undisputed. When you beat Lomachenko, right, the franchise belt was on the line, which the reason why I was allowed was because the whole point of the franchise is the fighter that has that belt goes on to unify the division. That was Lomachenko. So by default, after Tio beat Loma, you're a fucking undisputed. Same thing with Josh Taylor. But no, what happens is all these, the quote unquote, the establishment, all these sanctioning bodies, they strip the titles from Josh after the Catterall performance. And
Mhm.
then boom, he just becomes two-time Ring Lino magazine fighter
Man,
of the
I'm
year.
my mind is still blown at the fact that Josh Taylor was never undisputed when he fought Teofimo.
Yeah, he didn't go in there with undisputed status, just WBO and ring
I had to
lineal, you know,
like
140 pounder. And
sometimes
it's
I
like,
have
if
to
I'm Teofimo Lopez, bro, I'm not only mad about everything, but they basically are erasing Teofimo off the history books
I feel like I
because he
hear
should
that
be two-time undisputed alongside
yeah.
before Terrence Crawford,
Yeah,
and
I
he's
feel like
not
I hear
getting
that too much.
none
I'm
of the
like
recognition, none of the
yeah,
recognition, and then so I'm like, damn, bro, if Tank is inactive and he might have that crossover appeal, if
he
Teofimo
does.
Lopez is fucking doing the correct shit in boxing, fighting all these killers and actually beating them before the age of 24, like who can we
But
rely
this is the
on, bro?
thing.
Who
This
can
is
we
the
rely
thing, though.
on?
Going back to like the face of boxing thing, I think Devin has so many problems to like on the horizon, like at 140. Like I think Regis is really just that only is like one of very few that can actually, be a problem to Devin. I think Devin's gonna win, but dude, he has so many people to worry about. He has, dude, that fight that's gonna happen this week, Hergeshev versus Sabril Matias. I
Yeah,
did my research on Ergashev. Oh my goodness, this dude is like fucking immaculate, bro. Like with his footwork, like everything's just good, bro. Like you could tell, like he keeps everything so crisp. And I'm like, dude, this guy looks like a problem to anybody. And I'm looking at Sabril, and I'm like, dude, this guy looks like a problem as well. And I'm like, dude, like Devin has so many problems, at 140, bro. And I just feel like there's too many threats, bro. I just feel like he's not even gonna get through 140. Like that's just my gut, you know. And I feel like Devin's a great fighter. It's just that I feel like there's so many dark night. I call them dark nights, or like like I call them dark nights because I feel like they're no one sees them coming, and yeah, I just feel like it's those type of fighters, bro, that can beat Devin. Um, so yeah, I just feel like if he beats those guys or gets through the 140 division, he needs to fight somebody else at 140 as well, not just Regis. Like he can't just say, "Oh yeah, I cleaned out the division at 140," when you only fought like one guy. Like I want him to fight an even better guy at 140. If he beats Teofimo after this, okay, that's good. But like at least three fights at 140. Give me one. If Sabril Matias wins, at least negotiate. I want to hear that you've negotiated with him because you negotiated with Shakur, and I have to give him props for that. You know, and I feel like I wanted to hear him getting to like putting it out there. Like, yeah, I offered Sabria Matias this fight, or if Ergashev wins, I want him to fight Ergashev. I mean, a lot of things are possible for him because he's a free agent pretty much, and he can do whatever he wants.
yeah, no,
Um,
I agree, bro. There's a
yeah,
whole lot of fighters at 140, up and comers and veterans, right? Like
and
Jose
Tank, no one can
Ramirez,
beat
George
him.
Cepeda,
I
Arnold
don't.
Barbosa. But there's
Yeah.
like the Antoine Winfield, with a Gary Russell. There's like you said, Subriel Matias, Ergashev. But I don't think Devin Haney's gonna fight all those dudes. If Devin Haney is to beat Regis Prograis, and I don't know if he will, but if he's able to beat him, right, he'll most likely be like, hey, I want to unify with Teofimo Lopez. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he essentially doesn't have to go the undisputed route. If Devin loses, he'll most likely fight Shakur. But even then, bro, I don't think Devin Haney will have that crossover appeal because I'm not saying his fights aren't, exciting. I'm just saying he lacks that punch. And that punch, he's gonna have or gonna be in a lot of close fights. And a lot of people are gonna be like, nah, man. This guy he lost that fight. Lomachenko beat him. Some on the come December, some people might say, "Oh, Rigas beat him," and all this bad publicity is gonna hurt Devin Stock because he can't crack. You know what I mean? And that's why no one can really say shit about Tank Davis other than he not really fighting killers. Is like Devin is fighting tough guys that can potentially beat him, but all of those fights are gonna be close. Like if you were to fight Subriel Matias, it's gonna be such a close fight because he just can't hit extremely hard, right?
Yeah.
And then
He
Boots
needs to.
Ennis, if we go down the list of a bunch of fighters like Boots Ennis could have that crossover appeal. But the lack of big fights, like for instance, let's say he were to fight
That's the thing.
Stanionis.
He's still young, though. He's still young. There's a lot for him to prove. It's his mindset that's actually gonna take him far. He's still unproven, and he feels that in his soul. He hasn't really won a belt yet. I mean, he got it, but I think yeah, you said a good one. Boots is right there to actually be another face of boxing as well. Another possible guy right there.
Yeah, for sure. It's like look at Boots, right? Let's say he were to fight Imanza Stanionis, right? A lot of people aren't going to give him a lot of credit for that fight because he just beat that Colombian fighter, right? Roman Villa. That was a good
Stanionis?
fucking fighter.
He did?
Yeah, he just beat Roman Villa, right?
When?
In Atlantic City.
This week
Like
or like?
sometime this year. It was a good ass fight.
Oh, was it?
Like it was a super good fight. No one really tuned in. No one tuned
Stanionis?
in. No one even gave him credit because they were all
Stanionis
saying
fought
that
Villa?
Villa was or Royman Lara, I don't know, whatever his name was. But they basically were saying, oh, he was a punching bag. But I was like, bro, that dude just beat Rashidi Ellis.
Yeah,
The
no,
same
he was
Rashidi
good.
Ellis that beat Alexis Rocha. That's who he just beat. Like, for example, if this Roman Villa or Roman Lara, I don't know what his name is. I'll have to look it up.
Romain Villa.
Yeah, if he was signed to Golden Boy would know how to promote him properly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But people aren't going to give Boots Ennis that credit. Same thing if you were to beat Iamante Stanionis. They would be like, well, Iamante Stanionis, is coming off injury. He hasn't fought in 2 years. He was very inactive, and they just fed him to Boots Ennis. And it's like, bro, Stanionis is fresh. Like he had his appendix removed, but he's a fucking fresh fighter.
He's been inactive
like,
though.
The inactivity. That's what I'm saying. There's always something, and it's just like there's no fighter right now that is gonna have that.
2 years.
Say again.
2 years is a long time.
Yeah, no, it is a long time. I agree. It is a long time, but what I'm saying is the lack of storylines, the lack of inactivity of these fighters is boxing's fucking downfall. No disrespect, but and all these fighters like Teofimo Lopez, he should not be fighting one time a year, bro. If you want to ingrain yourself into the public eye, you need to fucking fight 10 times a year, bro. You need to fight one time every month. Maybe Cinco de Mayo, you have a big fight. Maybe in September, it's a big fight. But in between, go fucking fight tune-ups. Go make your resume 70-0. And you just fighting a bunch of, like 4-round fights, 6-round fights. That's what Julio Cesar Sr. did. He fought a lot of 6-8 rounders in between. Yeah. And then he had big fights as well in the big months. You know what I mean? A lot of these fighters have to do that same thing too. They're just always looking for a big money fight, and they're looking to fight only once or twice a year. And it's like, bro, you guys are doing a disservice. Yeah. 20-0 looks good. It's amazing. You know what looks even better? 40-0. You know what looks even better on paper? 68-0. A lot of these fighters have to, when Ryan Garcia said, oh, we have to reimagine the sport. Now we have to reimagine the sport. You fighters have to reimagine your guys' career. How you guys go about presenting yourself that are the product to the public eye. Because you guys are so far behind, and these networks are realizing it, and they're tired of lying for these fucking fighters.
Yeah.
They're tired of paying you guys so much money,
They
and
need
they're
to do
tired
their
of
jobs
lying
too.
because they're losing.
Right. Like
And
they need to do their part too, and promote themselves in a way where they get themselves paid a little more. It's just, they should want these fights to happen because it's just an opportunity. I mean, boxing's not going to be forever. You want to make a fight happen, and I mean, all the other paying stuff, it's like you're supposed to kind of promote yourself in a sense as well. Yeah, you're right though. They should look at the way they go about their careers now. It should be just about making fights happen, not like maybe like if they recreate like the pay scale,
yeah,
it'll actually, and it's mostly what's gonna get these guys out of the couch, and it should be like these guys. Some of these guys are just getting greedy, like not every fighter has like the same mindset. Some really do like just get out there and just and stay active, and they do it, and they know how to like please the fans and fans that love them, and you got those fighters out there. It's just that they need to actually make it to where you're forcing a fighter to have a certain mindset as far as how they're getting paid and how they go about their careers. Um, and that should take them further. I think they should recreate the pay scale though.
I
Because
agree.
some guys,
Let me put it
it's
to
night
you
and
like
day.
this.
It's night and day with how much they're getting paid, and then some guys deserve it and some guys don't. And it's like they need to just tear, not, I'm not sure of a tear down, but like just recreate some of the pay scales, so yeah, man, it's just it's too night and day. I think if you're a professional fighter, I think you should get paid for what you did in the amateurs. I think they should make fighters want to come up through the amateurs and not just skip the line and then become pro right away. I think you should actually uh you need to work for the opportunity to become pro. You can't. I don't think if you have a like if you have like a handsome face, you should be, you get to skip the line because you have a handsome face and you're easily promoted and you're gonna put butts in seats. I just feel like you need to build the careers in the amateurs first. I think that's what's gonna actually genuinely build a career because I think looks and all that, they go away fast. And it's like, yeah, I think that's the thing right there. They should, in a way, if in the set, because there's a lot of fighters like Keone that
Hell
they're
no.
no, I'm just saying there's
Let me
fighters
tell
like,
you why.
hold on, let me finish. There's fighters like
Rack it
Keone
out, dog.
who is like who are struggling right now, and they're fundraising at the same time. I just feel like if college football players are getting paid, to like, play college football, I just feel like, amateurs should get some kind of help in some kind of degree to like, to become pro, like especially the ones that really want it, So yeah, I just feel like you should get you should work for the opportunity to become pro first, not just, hey man, you got like 3 knockouts, bro. You fucking fill this bitch up. We're gonna put you on, So yeah, I think you should get paid for what you get, or you should get, yeah, you should actually, you deserve for what you work for, and that should be in the amateurs first. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say, nah. I don't think these amateurs deserve to get paid, bro. Because, like, for
Some kind
example,
of help, some kind of
you
help. They don't help for shit.
well, they do get help once they start taking you to like the Olympic Center. They start giving you like like some type of stipend. You know what I mean? I mean, it's not like a fixed income or anything, but
I don't think they,
there's some benefits and rewards for like the top amateur athletes. For instance, like,
but to fundraise for the national qualifiers, they don't get nothing,
well, let me
and they
put it to you
cost a
like
lot.
this: your uncle, he owns a boxing gym, right? And
Mhm.
I'm sure Keone has relatives and family and friends that come and pay. But you know what happens? Keone
Not
is not
everyone.
paying. Keone's not a paying athlete to your gym, to your
Yeah, he
uncle's
is.
gym. You know
Yeah,
what
he
I'm
is.
saying? No, he's pretty much there fighting and training and exercising for free.
No, he
Your
pays his
uncle
monthly
gets the
dues.
back end money when he hosts the events at his tournament, at his gym, and people start coming in. So then, because your uncle has to pay rent. You know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, my nephew, same thing. He basically trains for free, and then the coach makes the back end money when the family and everybody come to see his amateur fights. So then you're going to take a cut out of, basically all this free work that you've been giving this prospect. And then how are you going to pay the fees? How are you going to get new bags for all the rest of the kids? How are you going to run a gym? It's the same thing. You want to pay these fighters. No. Listen, to keep it simple, look at Emiliano Vargas. Look at Richard Torres. They fight maybe 6, 8, 10 times a year. They're constantly fighting every 2 months, sometimes in 2 weeks.
Why do you
Right?
think that is?
No, I'm getting to that. And what happens when they fight so often? All of us in this panel, we get excited. Oh, did you see Emiliano Vargas? You know why? And their profiles start to get big. Then at a certain time, and then guess what? They're usually not getting injured as well because they're fighting often. That means they're training often. The minute they start getting a little big-headed and the big money starts to come, they start to relax. They take a month or 2 off and then recharge their batteries.
Mm.
When they should be
Mm-hmm.
fighting more often. Bro, you
That's what I
made
was
it.
trying to point to.
And then so they start fucking themselves up. Then they start realizing, man, I don't know why I'm getting more injured than I was when I was barely coming up. Well, it's not so much that the competition got harder. You were just training just as much, and if not harder when you were an amateur because you're or an up and coming prospect. But you got to realize like you're being more active, so your body gets to be stronger. You know what I'm saying? They're doing everything backwards. It's like if I'm starting off something, you know what I mean? Let's say I'm working on a project vehicle. I'm not going to try to work on 10 project vehicles at once. No, I'm going to take my time to perfect it on one. The first one should always take me a lot of time. And then with experience, I can do 10 in a year. I can do 30 in a year. I can do 3 in a month. You know what I'm saying? That's how should be Canelo. Look what Canelo, when he became undisputed, he was fucking fighting 4 times in like less than 12 months. And look how much things that he accomplished. A lot of these fighters have to start doing the same thing. Once you reach that top level, don't just fight once or twice a year, Tank. You got to start fucking fighting 5 times. You want your profile to increase? You got to fucking continue fighting, bro. And they lose
Yeah.
a bunch of momentum.
This is
You
you
know what I
can't.
mean?
And this is
Everything that the boxing structure is fucking backwards, bro. It's
it is.
backwards. But I do agree that I don't know if it has to be collegiate programs, but boxing needs to like give these fighters, hey, if you're not gonna make it into a pro, maybe you could make a lucrative contract as an amateur. Maybe you can
Yeah.
get a scholarship. I think
Imagine.
Ohio State is the only college
Yeah.
that has amateur boxing.
Yeah, like imagine me going to rock boxing and then I get some kind of like scholarship to like fight for their team, and then I get to work on a degree or I get paid as if my NIL deal goes through or whatever, so yeah, something like that, like give these guys like some leverage, financially because it's such a small game and it's night and day what these guys get paid, bro. Like some of these guys it's just man, it's kind of sad thinking about how fat these guys get paid compared to the guys that are like truly hungry, and people like dudes that are 2 years inactive, and you got someone that's just like way better shape, way better everything, getting paid pennies, bro. And that's the sad part, and I just feel like those guys need to get paid as such, for your talents, So yeah, I also heard people like fuck who does it? Oh yeah, like Golden Boy, they'll do like monthly payments to their fighters and stuff like that. Have you heard stuff
Yeah,
like that?
yeah.
Yeah.
I think Al Heyman used to pay their fighters or his fighters, like $2,000 a month or something like that, just to like I forgot
Yeah.
2,000 a week or some shit. I don't really
Yeah.
remember, but yeah, I've heard of things of that nature. And yeah, a lot of top tier promoters, they do that to their highly touted fighters so they can keep
Mm.
busy and being motivated. Yeah, man, there's a lot of incentives. But yeah,
Yeah.
bro, I
Not,
just
I
feel
just
like these fighters, that reached to a certain level, like Teofimo Lopez, right? Let's focus on him for a little bit. Like, he has the world right now, the boxing. He can make so much headlines. He should be interviewing. He should be asking and demanding his name to be written on these history books, because, on the history books, they're not seeing him as undisputed at 135 after he beat Lomachenko. They're not
Yeah,
seeing him
no.
undisputed after he beat Josh Taylor. And he should be. And he should be like, bro, I'm going to fucking sue you guys. He should be doing much more than what it is, rather than just bickering to ESPN that I want higher praise. Bro, the reason they don't want, like, he's being blackmailed, bro, and blackballed.
He really is.
And he's being exploited. And he knows it. And they're erasing him from history, bro. Literally, what he's accomplished. There's not any younger fighter under 30 years old that's done and beaten 2 pound-for-pound fighters on the list, Lomachenko and Josh Taylor, like Teofimo Lopez has done, that are under 30, that are under 25.
Yeah, and if Teofimo
It's
manages,
crazy, bro.
and it's crazy because I just need Teofimo to fucking stay active. If he stays active, then his name will be in other people, like, in the media's mouth, And I just feel like, people like, man, like Boo Boo, like, he's been around for so long, bro. Like, and if he wins this fight, it's been a long time coming for him, And it's gonna, dude, it's gonna be like a long road. That, like, they need to, like, make a documentary about that guy. If like I've heard about that guy since high school, and for him to barely come up right now, that'll be amazing, bro. That should give a lot of people some hope, and that to not give up and stay active, Boo Boo, was he really, like, active though throughout the years, or was he kind of like taking breaks? I'm not sure. Do you know?
I'm not even. I don't really remember the career of Demetrius Andrade. To your point, yeah, we've been knowing this dude since high school, and
Yeah,
more or less at the age of 35, it's like, bro, the last 8 years you've been fighting nobodies, and you wasted essentially your prime.
yeah,
And to your point, Drew, he's finally getting some type of his name being circulated around, because this whole time he was chasing the Charlos, never manifested. And when there was a chance to, that fight for it to get made, he fucking bails out because the money ain't right. And this is what I'm trying to tell you. It's like, I don't know, bro. These fighters, they don't really,
he's part.
they've been just trying to leech off the same rhetoric, the same ideals and goal plans that Mayweather instilled, and they're all been trying to preserve their own.
Yeah,
Little do they know, it's like people
they,
are tired of it, and you guys should listen to the fans more, because they're telling you what they want.
they
And
probably
if
would
they're
have
telling
waited.
you what they want, guess what? Supply and demand, bro.
Yeah, Boo Boo
But
probably would have made so much more money with, like, two L's in his record if he had a couple more names in his record. Like, rather than right now, he probably would have been making a lot more right now because he was elite. And I mean, who knows if he's still in his prime, but in his prime, he was that dude. you know, and he would have been in so many big fights. Imagine how paid Erickson Lubin is right now. Like, that dude, all the wars he's going through. Like, I hope that dude's getting like a millionaire right now. I'm pretty sure he is, but you know,
who,
um,
Erickson Lubin?
yeah. I'm just
I mean,
trying to name an active guy.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I know he had a brutal fight with Sebastian Fundora, but that was pretty much it, bro. You know what I mean? Even him
Mhm.
at the age of 20 and 21, Showtime were trying to push him to the forefront. And then guess
Mhm.
what happened? He got his ass knocked down in one round by Jermell Charlo. That's another
Mhm.
thing. It's like
He
you
wasn't afraid
a
to take
lot of
the L though.
a lot of people, even ourselves, we want to be millionaires extremely young, right? That's the goal, right? To have like generational wealth, blah blah blah, the whole spiel, right? So we live in this really like fast life that we don't not appreciate how to get there. But like, for example, the people that we see on TV nowadays, right? A lot of them are older, bro. It took them like 30 years. There was a like interview that Steve Harvey had with Shannon Sharp, right? In his Club Shay Shay. And he was talking about how at the age of 35, he finally landed on TV. And at like 48, he finally was a show on, whatever show that he has now, like one of those like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire type of shit. I don't know. So it took him a lot of time, a lot of years. He had to sacrifice and just be on little comedy shacks just to present his content. Yeah, he sure probably made little movies along the side. Like, for example, Kevin Hart, right? Now you see him like a big name. Now he's doing it really big. But he was just a little side piece and an extra on the movie Soul Plane. He was like a little extra, and he had a great opening with on the 40-Year-Old Virgin. You know what I mean? Do you remember that little segment where he was like, "Look, bro, I'm gonna need this on the house," and he goes, "That I can't do, man. Don't be my nigga." And he goes,
Oh
"Look,
yeah,
I am
yeah,
nobody's." You know what I'm saying? He had that
yeah,
little
yeah,
moment, and then
yeah.
eventually he started, like 5-10 years after that fact. Then he started having these epic moments, and he's doing this shit with Dwayne Rock
Mm.
Johnson. But a lot of people, like a lot of these fighters, see that and they start comparing themselves and like, man, they got that, but it took them years to get that. And when I look at Erickson Lubin, they try to make it a shortcut for him to be a star, right? David Benavidez, same thing. He became a champion at 20, right? Beating Ronald Gabriel. And guess what happened? He immediately lost 5 or 6 years of epic momentum just fighting guys like Rashidi Ellis and um, Kyron Davis. And it's like, bro, you just beat Ronald Gabriel and now you're fighting 154, 160 pounders? Had you
Yeah.
just fucking been disciplined after the shortcut that they gave you, you would have been a much bigger star. So a lot of these time, bro, when it comes down to these fighters, they're all self-inflicted wounds. Look at Jose Benavidez, his older brother, literally got fucking shot. And his career, he only got signed by Top Rank because he was giving Manny Pacquiao amazing work at the wildcard gym. And he was a highly touted amateur, right? But
Hmm.
professional career-wise, he hasn't done shit. And that dude at the age of 33 now, he finally is somewhat, a relatively known name because he had a role in the Creed 4, Creed 3 movie.
Hey, breaking news. I'm just kidding.
Now what happened?
Did
What happened?
did you watch? Did you watch the press conference with Charlo and Benavides?
I didn't watch all of it, but I did watch moments for sure.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I'm gonna give what's his name? Jamal uh some props, bro, because he was holding himself together and he was actually like playing it cool. Did you see where Jose Benavides actually got up and was trying to act all tough? Did you watch
Yeah.
that part? Yeah, it was just funny, man. And I was like, if whether he's doing it for his brother to like hype up the fight, it was working because he kept that same energy. I mean, I think it was real, their beef, because I didn't see one moment where they, like they just acknowledge each other. They were acknowledge each other, but they weren't like cool with each other. But yeah, no, that like he did a really good job of just like keeping that same energy. But I'm definitely gonna be tuning into that. It's a non pay per view fight, right? Is that right?
Nah, I think he's the co-main event of David Benavidez and Andre. It's gonna be on pay-per-view, bro.
Son of a bitch. But yeah,
I
no,
know,
it's
bro. I know.
yeah.
I feel
So
you, bro.
I'm hyped, but I'm hyped about the Sabria Matias and the Ergashev fight.
Yeah, and I think
Oh
Rayo
no,
is also fighting Chris Colbert on the undercard. I could be
never.
wrong, but
So
it's good.
Ergashev, I just remembered this right now. Did you hear what Ergashev said? Like earlier, I think yesterday or today. Do you
Nah,
hear what he
nah. What do
said?
you say?
Bro, he said he was gonna retire after this fight. That's what he said. He's gonna retire after this fight. He's done. So I'm kind of like sad about that. I just remembered about that right now. I was looking at a post right now too, and I
So
was like,
Ergashev, who no one has ever heard
mm-hmm,
of, and this is pretty much the opportunity for us to hear about him. If
mm-hmm.
he wins his big fight and becomes a champion,
Win
he's
or
going to
lose,
retire.
win or lose. Yeah, he's gonna retire.
Maybe that he has a back injury or some shit that we're not privy to, or maybe that's what I'm saying, bro. It's like when there's an opportunity for these fighters to finally gain some momentum,
Mm-hmm.
something stupid happens in their career.
Yeah. No,
You know what I mean? Or they get big. I don't know, bro. I don't know. This process of over marinating, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like look for example Terrence Crawford, bro. A lot of people like Terrence Crawford now, and he had an amazing performance against Errol Spence Jr. And
Mm-hmm.
then all of a sudden, instead of being active, he just wants to cash out and fight Canelo Alvarez. That's the
I
only
know.
fight that appeals to him.
I
No
know.
longer Jermell, not Boots, not even a rematch with Spence.
Yeah,
He wants to
it's
just
crazy.
cash out and do something crazy, which he might fucking let's just say
Yes. He might
anybody
fuck
could get
around.
lucky. He could be Canelo. Let's just say he
Mm-hmm.
moves up 20 something pounds to fight Canelo Alvarez, and he's looking to cash out like Ergashev as well. It's like I don't know, bro.
There's different mindsets because you heard Canelo talking like, I'm trying to be a billionaire. And this, like Crawford just got this money. Dude, if I knew I could make 10 mil, I don't know what the numbers are, but if I knew as a fighter, say I could make 10 mil minimum every single fight, regardless of who I fight, I'm fighting as much as I can. I'm fighting as
Yeah,
much as I can. And I'm not stopping until I can't, you know,
I
and
agree.
and
I agree.
Crawford's at the top of his game right now, and it looks like he has so many miles left to go, and eh, he just looks like he's that next dude to become the face of boxing. But it's just as, sounds like he's cashing out, and sounds like he's tired of boxing, you know. And it sucks, man. Just the mindset, like I would have just not stopped, bro. Like he must have been rich this whole time or something and just been wanting to become, just a 10 millionaire guy, so there's
Yeah, I
different
agree.
mindsets. There's different mindsets, bro. Canelo's just been getting paid 10 mil at a time, 10 mil at a time, or whatever it is, probably more by now.
Yeah,
And
30
he's
to
not,
50 mil.
and he's like, not stopping. I'm not stopping until I'm a billionaire. It's like, fuck. Like, that's the mindset I like to hear, like, it's not about money, but that's how consistently you have to be to really be that guy, And I'm gonna miss him when he's gone for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. Just to kind of reinforce the point, Warp Speed goes, Jermell Charlo vacated his 154 IBF title belt. Look, man, he already got stripped of the WBO. Now it's in the hands of Tim Tszyu. So the legacy and all the fighters that and the length of basically Jermell Charlo's whole career, let's say a span of 15 years. Let's say he's 33. He turned pro at 20, let's just say. So 13 years of fighting all of those guys that he fought. Brian Castano twice, Tony Harrison twice, Vanis Martirosyan when he got his first WBC title, or whatever the case may be. Charles Hadley knocking him out. He doesn't even fight and ask these sanctioning bodies, bro, I became undisputed. All these guys want to fight only me. Why don't you guys host a fucking tournament? The winner of that fights me. I have to fucking fight 4 times and beat all these dudes that are just looking to take a shortcut when it took me 13 fucking years. I will fight all 4 of them. Just don't strip me. Jermell don't even say nothing, bro. No, he might be saying something on an email, underneath or whatever the case may be, in the shadows, but it's like, bro, you cannot let these guys strip everything you work so hard for. And the goal is not to be like, oh, disgruntled and be like, well, I don't give a fuck, I'm gonna retire, or I'm gonna go throw out trash in New York because it pays more, like Teofimo Lopez. Like, nah, bro, keep fucking fighting. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, bro. It's kind of interesting stuff. We could be wrong, but we'll see. El Pachuco goes, I hope Virgil is given the opportunity to fight for that vacant belt at 154. Get Oscar on the phone. Yeah, I hope so. But you know what? I'm not gonna lie to you. Virgil doesn't deserve the 154 title shot. Who has he fought? You know what I'm saying? I like Virgil Ortiz, but bro, just get active. Continue to fight. I do hope that he does get the opportunity at one time in his life, but he's got to earn it, man. I would love for him to fight Tim Tszyu. I would love for him to get in the ring with Brian Castano, or even that 154 number one mandatory for Jamel, which is like an obscure like Russian or Eastern European name. I'm not exactly too sure who it is, but yeah, I hope Virgil fights all those guys. I mean, in an ideal world, I would love to see Virgil fight, either Jaime Munguia or Sergey Derenchenko. I don't know if Virgil can make 154, but there's a whole lot of things that Virgil can do in his career. Um, but again, I just want to see Virgil just be active. I'm not trying to rush his career. Like, hey, give us 3 fights, soft touches, tune-ups, um, dust off, cobwebs, and just fine tune your skill, that speed, your ring IQ, your intelligence, the ring rust. That's kind of what I want to see Virgil. But yeah, Oscar's witty, man. Oscar De La Hoya, he knows the game. He knows how to either pander to the crowd or kiss the right boot, so to speak. He knows what to do. Says 1 second. But yeah, no, Virgil. I was really hoping for that Stanionis fight, man. It just horrible turn of events that happened during those, I don't know, 3 times that fight was rescheduled. But yeah, man. El Pachuco goes, Virgil was screwed out of fighting for a belt a couple of times. The WBA moved Virgil from the #1 ranking to give Thurman the spot. That was a slap on the face. Boxing owes him one. Yeah, man. The only 2 credible bodies, not even. I only like the IBF. I don't like the WBC Mauricio Suleiman for the shit that he's doing to Bivol. I don't like his politics, and I don't like how he made that franchise belt, and then just the franchise belt doesn't even exist anymore. I don't like the WBC and Mauricio Suleiman. I don't like anything about him. The WBA, what's with this super champ and then regular champ? I don't like that. I don't like that either because it allows fighters to circumvent, and the regular interim champ, like let's say Ugas, he had to fight all his mandatories, so to speak, right? And then or guys like Tank Davis. Tank Davis is a super champ, and then whoever is the WBA holder, they're the ones that have to fight the mandatories. I don't like the WBA for that reason. So it's understandable why they would do all that shit that they did with Virgil. The WBO, sometimes it's credible, but what I've seen in the past, either Frank Warren or Bob Arum during cahoots with the WBO. Every single one of their fighters fight for the WBO. And I'm just kind of like, I know everything in sports, like life, it's all about who you know and the relationships you have with people, but they don't really have any credibility. Whereas the IBF is the only one that has that 10-pound rehydration clause for the second weigh-in, and then they actually enforce their mandatories. Sometimes a little too stupidly, how quickly they reinforce their mandatories, but at least they're consistent. So at least there's some credibility there. And Pachuco goes, Virgil should have been given a shot at Crawford when he earned his #1 ranking. I think they tried to. I think they tried to make that fight, but I think Virgil Ortiz petitioned to go fight for the WBA, which is why that fight with Iamanza Stanionis was being made. I could be wrong in terms of the term of operations and the chain of events and the time sequences, but yeah, I think they realized what Bud Crawford was asking, and they couldn't really cater to that money that he was demanding. So they went the WBA route, and honestly, that was good for Virgil because I don't think he would have beaten Bud Crawford. I don't even know if he would have beaten Stanionis. Stanionis is a good ass fighter. That fight that he had with Butayev, that was an amazing fight. And Butayev did every dirty trick in the book that he knew. Headlocking, leaning on ducking his head and pot shotting him everywhere, turning him and trying to hit behind the ear. He did everything in his power, Butayev, and Stanionis was formidable. He stood his ground. He tried to complain, but the ref wasn't giving him any favors. And he had an amazing trainer in Joe Diaz, and Stanionis held his ground. I think Stanionis would have been bad for Virgil's health, but I mean, I could be wrong, Unfortunately, I don't think we're ever going to see that fight. But yeah, man, I just want to recap it. I went on a little too longer than I anticipated. So I want to leave it on this note, man. Once Canelo retires, and hopefully he gives us 3 years, even though I know there's a lot of people like Ultra Instinct that say I'm very critical of Canelo. I am a fan of Canelo. We pretty much, in our household, we buy every single one of his pay-per-views. And honestly, I've always been entertained. Even the Eres Dani Lara fights, even the Perro Angulo fights. I've been entertained by those bouts. In fact, one of my favorite fights from Canelo was the James Kirkland fight. It only lasted 3 fucking rounds, but it was fun. It was a fun 3 rounds. That James Kirkland Canelo, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. James Kirkland came out like a dog, and I only wondered to myself, what would happen if he was still with Ann Wolf? What would happen if Kirkland was active and not inactive for 2 years when Canelo gave him that call? It would have been an even better fight, because those 3 or 4 2 rounds that lasted, that was a great fucking fight. Even with the Perro Angulo and Canelo fight, Canelo was, winning and pitching a shutout, but he started getting a little tired, and Perro Angulo started to walk Canelo down. Unfortunately, Tony Weeks, Canelo threw that incredible uppercut, that one where he feints his hand up in the air and then he just slips and pops the 6. Tony Weeks was like, okay, that's enough, because Canelo was stalling all over Perro. Pero El Angulo, he was coming, and he was coming along and throwing his shots, and I was like, man, what happens if he has those last 3 rounds or, 6 minutes? I think that they stopped it in the 10th, maybe the 11th. I don't remember. That fight happened like in 2013. But yeah, man, once Canelo retires, boxing will take a big hit, because there is no, there's nothing new under the sun. These fighters are very inactive, and we can't depend on them. We can't trust Teofimo Lopez, even though he's doing the right things, because where is he right now? He's wasted 9 months of his prime trying to run a gym, when in reality, it's like, bro, these are your active prime years. You're at the top. Continue to dominate. He's taking a hiatus to be a businessman. Tank Davis, I don't even know what's happening with him. Ryan Garcia, he's still trying to figure out if he wants to be an actor or run social media, or if he really wants to be a boxer and actually learn the sweet science. Shakur Stevenson, you had the world's attention on Thursday, and you made everybody fall asleep. That was fucking embarrassing. Devin, we'll see. He has a tough fight versus Regis Prograis, who you could say should be undefeated. You could say that Regis Prograis beat Josh Taylor. Maybe Devin Haney knocks out Regis Prograis. I know that Regis could be outboxed. We saw Danielito Sorria was having a lot of success doing so. But I think Devin needs to really cement himself as a pound-for-pound fighter and impose not just your skills or your outboxing ability. Everybody knows you have that. But let's see if you can really hurt and bang with the big boys at 140, because you were barely surviving the 135-pound fighters. Jojo Diaz was giving you work. Lomachenko beat you. Linares almost knocked you out. So I need to see Devin be like, nah, I was just fighting the little guys, but I was really hurting myself. Now I'm going into my man strength. Let's see that man strength. Couple weeks left, I think 2 to 3 weeks until we get that Regis fight. The world will be watching more or less. I don't know how many people will buy the pay-per-view on the zone, but they'll sure be watching it somehow. And Devin has to, if he wants to be the face of boxing, because you're doing the right things. You're fighting George Kambosos. You're fighting Lomachenko when Lomachenko didn't give you the shot, when he tried to play politics and hide behind it, but you still gave him the shot. So you're at least doing the right shit. You're fighting Regis. No tune-up, just straight to Regis. Sure, he had a bad performance against Sorria, but now Regis knows what flaw to work on in his game. He's going to be better than what he showed his skills on Sorria in New Orleans. Devin has the world on his shoulders. And whether guys like Ultra Instinct want to give young Devin Haney, props for fighting a fucking champion straight through who could be undefeated, you know what I mean? There'll be solid dudes like me that keep it true that, like, yeah, Devin could maybe knock down or knock out Regis Prograis. Maybe not like a Deontay Wilder or a Tank Davis shots, but a death by a million cuts. On that note, guys, have a good night. I probably won't make a video until like Saturday or Sunday after the fights. Hell, maybe we might go live during the David Benavidez things, and I'll show you guys a little something, right, before YouTube takes it down. But yeah, man. On that note, have a good night, guys, and hey, go Niners.